Hello there. Today we're going to be looking at some PvP videos, and these are going to be full-length fights with not a lot of editing, and this is just to look at what I would consider some good play and look at some mistakes I'm making and some mistakes my opponents are making to try to improve our playstyle. So I'm playing with the Great Machete in my right hand and the Thief's Dagger in my left, but a lot of what I'm going to be talking about can be used with any weapon. So here's our first fight against someone with the Thorn Greatsword. And with all greatswords, you want to watch out for that 2-hit combo. This one right here, where they stab then swing. That one is very popular. Although this guy's using the Thorn Greatsword, so he has his lightning bolts he could throw in. And so I'm taking my time, making sure I stay distant from him. But then I want to stay kind of at what I would consider like a good kind of like Goldilocks zone of being right around the length of my weapon, so that I can quickly kind of punish any mistakes I see. And you can see I'm also rolling in and attacking with the dagger at times. So right here I roll in and then kind of make a mistake there. I didn't pause long enough and did the rolling attack. But right there you saw I did a jumping attack, which also is a good way to punish. And right here I get the guard break, but don't quite get the riposte, but that's okay. And here actually would be a great backstab attempt, but instead I go for a R2 and end up getting killed. And so that happened because I actually stepped into his body, meaning that my character's body and his body clashed, and so that's why the hit registered. And a lot of people don't realize that, you have to make sure you don't get too close. You want to stay in that Goldilocks zone so that when you step forward, you don't step into someone and take a hit you shouldn't have. And then, okay, so here's my next fight, and it seemed like a gank. So I just kind of like, say no gankerino. The gold's not too friendly. And so, luckily the host is being a good sport, so I'm just gonna go after the gold here. And yeah, that poise, gotta watch out. And yeah, so jumping attacks are great for just being able to get in. Typically you want to use it after, like, maybe they dodge an attack. Like you do an R1, they roll away, and then you do a jumping attack. That's usually when they're the most effective. There I missed a running attack. Just trying to keep my distance. I'm trying to avoid the rolling attacks from the smelter sword. So here I go in for an attack. Just more kind of running around. He's playing pretty passively. I think right here he got scared of a gank from the other red, so he ran away. And then I just attack at the wrong time and I get punished for it. When people have a lot of poise armor, you have to like make sure to only attack after they attack, or try to go for rolling attacks with daggers or something like that. Something we could get in quick and then get out quick. Okay, so here's the next fight. Here I am cheering, start the fight. And so this guy's using, the bone fists. So usually these are pretty easy to deal with, just don't get too greedy like I did right there. I think the flying kick has hyper armor, but I'm not sure. Yeah, and rolling attacks, always be super cautious from those. That was a great backstep by him. And another rolling attack. And whiffed backstep right there. And so here I am just trying to hang back. he comes in for the rolling. And I tried to get the dagger off, but it didn't work. Oh, and here I am. See, regular R1 into jumping. But unfortunately, he got his energy ball off move, and we both hit each other. And then, yeah, see there, I was careful of his rolling attack because he likes doing them. And so, again, oh, but now he switched weapons. So now, I have this to deal with. But my playstyle really shouldn't change all that much. Because it seems like he's still just doing like the rolling attacks. And right there I get punished by trying to go in and his second attack hit me. Yeah, follow-up attacks are usually pretty good. A lot of times when you're doing PvP, like, it's okay if you miss your first attack if the weapon you're using has a very strong follow-up. Like, you know, great swords. The follow-up attack is a wide arc swing, which is really easy to hit people with. Oh, and found the butterfly to fight. So this guy's probably going to be doing something silly. But it looks like dagger and shield. The Lorelian shield, I think. Oh, and so yeah, there's the one-handed R2 that's really easy to parry. So, kind of deserve that. Oh, and he's sorry. So am I. That jumping attack probably isn't good to do right there. I mean, it landed, but that wasn't a safe thing to do. And then here I'm just hitting him with my dagger, hoping for, you know, something. Just trying to be aggressive in his face. Making sure I don't deplete all my stamina, by the way. I stopped right before I ran out. He's throwing daggers back at me. There's the jumping attack. And so I did the jumping attack when he parried. And so, you know, he ripped his parry and I got the hit off. And then just finished off with the dagger. That's the good thing about R2 attacks too, especially two-handed R2 attacks, is usually they're just slow enough to where people who are parry fishing will whiff the parry. Oh, and here we have dual-wielding rapiers, which is the weakest weapon for me to fight against. I have lots of trouble fighting rapiers. It's a combination of they have really good tracking for what you would think a rapier should have, and the hitboxes are a little wonky. Like, you always need to dodge when someone attacks. Like, you can't attempt to sidestep or just step backwards. If a rapier user attacks, you roll. And there he staggered me out of my attack. And yeah, he was able to get his attack before my dagger hit him. Oh, there again with a jumping attack, which is good. And here I go for the rolling attack, but you know, he attacked before I finished my roll, so he was gonna win that 100% of the time. You know, if someone baits you into a rolling attack like that, be prepared to roll again, because they're going to hit you first no matter what. Oh, and here's the butterfly again. So I gotta keep in mind that this guy likes to parry. So the one-handed R2s really shouldn't be used all that much. So starting off with a little bit of just dagger stuff. I'm just being silly. Oh, and yeah, I don't know why I do it. One-handed R2s, super good to parry. So now, there we go. Follow-up one-handed R2s are a lot better, but just throwing out one-handed R2 is really bad. And there I was trying to hit him with the follow-up, but he came in a little bit too quickly. Oh, and there was also the follow-up R2, that slam down. That's also a really good move to get off. A lot of weapons have really good follow-up R2s. And there's me just being bad and attacking after rolling. Oh, and right there I actually backstepped through the backstab animation. So that's how I avoided that. And, you know, Reapers go through shields, so that first hit bypassed his shield. And then more dagger stuff, and I just kind of spam it. Because, you know, if someone's spamming a dagger in your face and you roll into them, there's really no reason not to keep spamming. The problem with daggers is they're low damage a lot of the times, where if you trade hits, if you trade with a dagger user, you usually game win that trade. So against daggers, just kind of keep your distance and try to punish their spam. So here's like a Havel Jester user with Fume Sword, I think? I'm not sure. The Fume Sword has thrusting attacks, right? I'm not sure. Oh, maybe it could be the S-Stock, but I don't think the S-Stock's that long. Yeah, maybe the S-Stock. But yeah, that guy wrecked me. And so that's gonna happen sometimes too. But you notice that I was doing the L1 while two-handing the weapon, and that prevented me from entering a stagger or a stun animation when getting hit. So usually, like, holding down the L1 to do like the partial block with your weapon can be really good for getting in close. That way you don't have to take the time to switch from a shield, because taking the time to switch from a shield, often you lose the advantage in an attack. And so here we have a straight sword using Pyromancer. And so this is so straight swords go great with Pyromancy. They complement each other like really nicely. And it gets me with the jumping attack that I should have rolled out of. Always roll with a jumping attack. And it gets the hit off there. A single dagger hit won't stagger. It has to be multiple. And hit him with the sweeping two-handed attack. Fire snakes are usually good to dodge towards, not away, but I got lucky there. And then here I'm thinking it's fire snake, but it's outcry, and so he sort of baited me into that, which is good. So that's the thing with Pyromancy, is there's good long range options and good short range options, and sometimes you can trick people into rolling into or attacking into a spell. Also, I really like the look of this armor set. The Rune Sentinel helm with the armor. I think it just looks cool. And so curved Neo Greatswords seem pretty good when power stance with something like a Greatsword or some other Ultra Greatsword. But by itself, it's also, you know, just a good weapon. I like the curved Greatswords. And there, see, I staggered him out of his backstep attack because I was close enough. There's his spinning attack, which I punish right there. Okay, see that move where I went for the backstab, but instead of backstabbing him, I kept running, and then I did the backstab as he came out of his roll. That way it's a guaranteed backstab. That is a move I use all the time. Like, I'll never just go for the backstab unless it's super obvious. I get behind them, wait for them to roll away, and then you just keep running and you get the backstab off. Like, it's 100% guarantee unless they either roll again or just roll in some other direction. When I avoid backstabs, I always roll like behind me or like to the side, just to avoid that. Okay, and so, okay, I think that was lag right there. I think that guy just was at the mercy of my lag. But here he goes, pulls out the Mannequin Saber, which you don't see a lot, but you know, it does decent damage. And so, also I think he had the Hyde Knight Lance before, I guess to go with a Hyde Knight cosplay, which also has Mannequin Saber, I guess. And just throwing knives at each other, because why not? And see there I kind of learned from earlier. He threw a knife, and rather than doing my rolling attack, I backed up. Because if I had done rolling attack, I would have like played perfectly into his plan. I mean, but he didn't attack, so I don't know what he was doing there. But typically, someone will like maybe throw a knife at you. You roll at them, and then they initiate their attack and just kill you. Okay, so now I'm fighting Hitler. So I'm gonna beg for mercy from Hitler. And apparently Hitler uses dark weapons. So there, I'm able to hit him before he initiates his running attack. There he gets a trade with the rapier because, you know, rapiers. I think that is the regular rapier. I don't think that's S-stock. And there's the curved sword power stance attack. Yep, and then I just die. Now, typically that curved sword flurry that he sent out, it's like you're very susceptible to backstab, because you just roll past them and they're still stuck in the animation for like another half a second. But instead I was just kind of like caught in the front of it. So here is, okay, so here's another good strategy. So this guy's using whip and shield. So I come at him, also land off the R2, which is nice. Okay, this wasn't the fight I was thinking of. So this wasn't the fight I was thinking of. That guy just died kind of easily, but that looked like he was just learning. That looked like a guy who was just trying to figure stuff out, playing around with stuff. So nothing wrong with that. That's the one thing that I always get kind of upset around, is when I'm kind of playing around with a build or playing around with something, and I die like really easily or quickly because I'm just trying to walk around attacks. They'll spam like the shrug or like the no way gesture, which I think is kind of dumb. Let people learn. So here he has lightning something. So he showed me a blue moon greatsword and then a hexing staff. So now he has these power stanced, which hit very hard. Make sure you don't get hit by that. And here they catch him in a couple little attacks. Right there I should have done a jumping attack, but instead I decided to do it now and eat an attack. I think that was let's see. Okay, so that was some flurries in case he decided to roll into me. And right here, I get the backstab off because he's just swinging for no reason. Like I said, you know, those power stance attacks, they really leave you open to backstabs. You have to watch out. And then here I hit him with the backstab attack, just as he's initiating his animation. Now, if I had been a little bit closer and I'd actually touched him, I would have taken the hit from those two swords. Okay, so here we have another lightning greatsword, or lightning infused greatsword user. And lightning, do the rolling attack there, which is risky like I've said before, but I did have a little bit of distance on him. And I missed the follow-up attack and he punishes with a backstab, jumping I mean. But there I get to jumping off, but it just kinda whiffed. And I don't know how I dodged that. That poke should have hit me, but it didn't, and so that was lucky. And he's doing a good job of dodging my slow R2 attacks. But see, there's the R2 follow-up, which is very quick. But again, he's able to punish me with the jumping. And again, I should have rolled out of that, but tried to sidestep it and just died. Always want to roll out of the way of the jumping attacks. And so that guy played, you know, a nice reactionary playstyle. So this is, let's see, magic infused, red rest, the sword, not the scimitar, and then elite knight. And so I thought I backed up enough, but nope. And that was good of him. He backstepped through the attack and then went in. And another good running attack by him. So now I'm being a little bit more cautious and making sure I dodge out of the way of stuff. And there I just kind of eat his attacks. Which is going to happen. You're going to misjudge timings and get hit every once in a while. A lot of times I like to kind of press my advantage and try to eke out any little advantage I can get in terms of like positioning. Because also I don't like rolling if it's unnecessary. It's a huge waste in stamina, and rolling for no reason can get you punished really easily. Okay, so now this guy is wearing, has the, I think, trait keep or great axe. And he's a ninja, so I gotta be careful. So now he's doing some unlocked play. A little bit of lag there. A little bit of lag, which almost got me lag stabbed, but I think it's smoothed out now. And so, yeah, that follow-up is just really strong. And so he is spinning around in circles. And then this comes out super fast. Like, I was not expecting that at all. This guy really knows the weapon well. And so, like that too, like the way he was able to like spin around 180 degrees just really caught me off guard. You know, he started attacking the other direction and then just spun around. And I didn't think I had to dodge. And then, yeah, he finishes me off with an ice rapier. Which he had hidden until the end, to kind of get an advantage then. So this looks like a pure mage build, or pure magic build, I should say, because he's using miracles too. So I get the backstab off because he just kind of casted a spell in my face. And now he's just gonna backpedal for a while and heal, which is gonna happen. So now, like I said, so now remember earlier when I ran after him, after he rolled and got the guaranteed backstab? If you keep rolling, you can do it. Like, say there's a failed backstab by me, and ow, that log really hurt. But see, I'm trying to wait until the very end of when he's done rolling to attempt a backstab. Because if I try to, well, like right now where he keeps rolling or whatever, it's not going to register. If people just keep rolling and running away, like you can't get it off. So now he's just running back and casting range spells. See, pyromancy with combustion would be good here, because I'm trying to stick close, but I think he only has range and AoE stuff. So now we're going to play Ring Around the Rosie here. And, yep, just going in circles. And, oh, gets stuck on the corner here, so I gain a couple hits. And boom. He just kind of panic, rolling. And then I get salty about having to chase him, so I do the no. But yeah, pure magic, especially without pyromancy, is really weak. Like usually, like you need some weapon just to like even it out. And this guy is not too friendly. Trying to do some stuff, and he's just kind of being angry. a little bit of lag there, but see, sometimes the beginning of a okay, there's the backstab. So yeah, sometimes the beginning of a match will be laggy, and you just gotta like wait it out. Like I think it's fine now. Just going for backstab, so I'm gonna switch to gestures. Normally I don't do this. Like normally I never switch to gestures, but if someone's being really just annoying, just going for constant backstab attempts, like I'll switch to gestures. And see, there's a nice jumping attack. Does some good damage. I do it again because he lets me. You know, if the enemy's just gonna let you do stuff, why not? That was a failed something. Now there I thought that was WOG or something, but it's a heal. So I'm like, okay, shrug. And he almost got me there with a running attack. So right there, see, I'm rolling too much and he's trying to get me with a running attack. But, you know, it's a spear, I don't have much choice in the matter. And he was going to heal again, so I'm just going to go up and take off a good bit of health. I think that was like, he was trying to be BM and like just heal again. And then right there, yeah, there he punishes me with the rolling attack because I was up against the wall. Okay, so here we have a fight club I walked into. Just gonna take up my spot over here in the typical fight club spot. And so, yeah, this guy got backstab into a fire snake, just trying to get the kill. There's another dual rapier user. Maybe the same one I fought before? But yeah, usually keep an eye on your opponent because they will do stuff like that. And so maybe this guy was in a fight club, maybe he was just got invaded twice. But, so, yeah, there he is just doing the rapier attacks. And then, so there, again, I attack, he rolls away, I do the jumping attack, and I'm able to, like, it's pretty much a guaranteed hit. Unless they expect it and maybe roll again. So I pull out my shield to maybe get off a parry. And see, look at that. I pull up my shield and I'm able to block his attacks. Shields, it turns out, it seems like are pretty good for rapiers. And so here I am just playing it with some more, just blocking attacks. Because I really haven't used a shield against rapier users before. That was kind of like the first time I was like, well, let me see how good this is. And it looks like shields are pretty good against rapiers, but I need to play around with it some more. And so there his backstab dodged my jumping and could have capitalized on it with an attack, but he didn't. But he did capitalize on throwing knives. Throwing knives are so good that I think pretty much everyone should use them. Like, there's no reason not to have some throwing knives in your heart bar. Because, again, when someone's just down to a sliver of health, it's an easy way to finish them off. And don't discount people who are low health. You know, lots of people who are super low health are able to come back and win a fight. And so, this guy's doing some stuff, so I'm just gonna head out. Hang out by the lava. So now we have the curved dragon sword versus a great sword. And so this isn't a good vantage point, but that looked like a old Sun Ring proc. But man, gets that backstab off and does a ton of damage. And it looks like, let's see, the great sword users seems to be getting some good hits in, and then but another backstab. So Fingo just won using 2 backstabs, and so now I'm a little bit cautious, and I'm just like, okay, let's just fight. He has an honor chug, but I do a scumbag attack anyways, because I'm like, you know, something funny's going on here. And so, actually, yeah, and so, getting off the magic. Magic's pretty good with great swords like that. And then, the lag happens. So that explains the backstabs. But if this wasn't a laggy fight, I think it would have been a good one, because I like the having the curved greatsword mixed with the magic. And so here's another fight I've run into. It looks like greatsword versus greatsword. And when you use a greatsword, fighting other greatsword users, it's really fun. Because it's just like all about outplaying your opponent and just like being able to predict and counter. There you see warrior healed, so scumbag host. Probably shouldn't be too nice to him, but you know, I still like trying to be as honorable as I can when I PvP. See, I'll still do a gesture. And then, yeah, that hits me. So there's that. And then, yeah, he's just throwing them out there. I take one to the face, because why not? And that to the face. See, sometimes it's not about winning, and sometimes it's about sending a message. I just had to get the no off. So I'm actually surprised that staggered him. He must have not been... Well, no, he was in the animation. Yeah, I'm really surprised that staggered him. He's wearing Havels. So, get the hit off there. Does good damage. So he's not super high level. And then land a combo there. And then the jumping attack misses because he does a double roll. But he's gonna go heal. Now notice, look how low health I am, but still had to heal. And then the counter swing hit me. I was hoping he was low enough on the stairs that second swing would miss, like hit into the ground. But it didn't. It was just high enough to where it still hit me. But oh well. Not too much to learn from that fight because he wasn't playing too well. So that is a good damage fireball. See, sometimes if you start with Forbidden Sun, you can throw in some fireballs and it messes up with people's roll timings, and you can catch him with a fireball. Also, I like this guy's like Pyromancer setup. He has the Penal Gauntlets, Smelter Helm, and then I guess a Lion Mage outfit. Yeah, and don't take fire whips to the face. That's not a good idea. So throwing the combustion. Tried to backstep my move, but didn't. And so now trying to get in there close with the dagger because he's gonna start throwing knives. And he tried to backstep like behind me, but he didn't go far enough, and I still got the backstab off on him. I wasn't trying to get the backstab off, but it still happened. In fact, I probably should have gone for the dagger attack there. The dagger attack won't go for a backstab, it will just be a regular attack. Did that guy double buff? If you double buff, the first one canceled. Well, I mean, the second one would cancel the first. Maybe didn't get the memo. And so there, pokey. So this guy seems to just be doing rolling attacks for days. So usually this is very easily punished with parries, or with the dagger, because you can start your attack before he's done with his roll, and you're guaranteed to get your attacks off before. And he's not wearing any gear that will give him high enough poise. And there he goes for the backstab. And yeah, just doing rolling attacks. I see I have my shield out I'm looking for an opportune time to parry. And then jumping attack, which misses. but that could have done good damage. That also would have been good backstab if I went for it. So, and also right there, but for some reason, like typically I don't go for the backstab, so sometimes I'll just have a brain fart and stand there. But now I actually am like, okay, I'm just gonna backstab this guy because his playstyle is not respecting the that weakness at all. And so you can see that so parries aren't the only way to punish, you know, super predictable patterns like that. Even without the backstab I got in, it would still be easy for me to get around his stabs and then still get some hits in. Especially if you're using something like a straight sword. Like a straight sword, you just let him whiff all he wants and then get your hits in. And they don't have to be rolling or running, they could just be regular hits. And then yeah, more lag. So I'm gonna back up, let the match kind of like let the lag settle out. So now this is, I don't know what's going on here when he's hitting the ground. This is kind of odd. This is what I wish the Havel user had done, is just hit the ground. But yeah. So look at that damage, man. Double Helix Halberd with one of them Dark Infused. That is a ton of damage. Like, so yeah, if you're looking for a glass cannon, Double Helix Halberd seems pretty good. And so now this looks like a legit Fight Club. And you can see the one red on the side wearing the horse's helm for the additional poise. And there I kind of, you know, accidentally attacked too soon, but glad I didn't hit him. So this is a fight where I'm just kind of off. I'm attacking like at literally all the worst times. And you know, that's gonna happen. Because when you run into another player who's like really good with their weapon and like used to like mixing things up and knowing predictions of when other people are gonna attack, you kind of need to spend the first few minutes just kind of like filling them out, figuring when they like to attack. Because you see that guy, I didn't respect him at all, and I was just trying to kind of go on autopilot, and he actually absolutely wrecked me. And then so this is a lot of homing crystal mass going on, which is also super susceptible to backstabs, but usually I just back up and let it proc. And then there's also, it's hard to tell what the weapon is with all that crystal shit on it. Let me look at the move. Is it straight sword or thrusting? You can see how I got her to roll into that R2 attack. Getting people to roll into R2s is really a good way to punish. And then so here's the Blue Moon, or the real great sword. I forget what it's called. The one that shoots lasers. And here, jumping attack, but you know, like I've pointed out many times, I jumped into her body, and so her laser attack still hit me. If I'd been just a little bit back, just backed up just a little bit, it would have worked. And so that's the danger of unlocked play all the time, is that, you know, you want to back up, but then you still want to be facing them. And so if you play unlock there, you can't. It's harder to control your distance, because you have to take time to turn around and do all that stuff. And so this is a regular rapier, I think. Regular rapier infused with fire. And Great Magic Barrier, which does nothing because I'm not using any magic infused anything. My AR is 450 and it's all physical. There is a fire orb, which almost hits me. See, I think that was an unlocked move, where they rolled back and then she spun around and attacked me, or he spun around. Here I am just kind of like doing combos at the air just in case he comes into him. More pyromancy. And then this time I dodged the fire whip. And backstab, which he goes into fire dance. And then there's a good backstep there. And then the combo is able to track around. Actually, wait a minute. No, that can't be the rapier. Rapier doesn't have moves like that. I don't know. Okay, so here's the Helix Halberd user again. Trying to get the things to proc. There we go. So now I know to watch out for the stabs. Good tracking on those stabs, by the way. Like, you're able to turn a lot when you go through those stabs. So there she did rolling attack right after rolling. Remember, you can't control those, so they're easy to punish. So now I'm going mostly, like again, I could have gone for backstab there, because she missed her rolling. But I'm mostly going for daggers. That was a good with the when I staggered her. And then, boom, that tracking. So again, just always be careful of like the follow-up tracking attacks. Like, you either have to make sure that you've already initiated your attack, so that you would interrupt it, or if you're not, don't just stand there. You gotta be ready to roll. In my defense, I was also watching Lord of the Rings while playing this game, so I was slightly distracted. That's my only excuse, though. No more excuses. Yeah, see, okay, see, this is the rapier, because it has the parry. The rapier has the parry attack on it. And, okay, so all these are from one night. But actually, I do see a lot more rapiers than I see katanas. I know people like to complain about katanas, but I see a lot. Oh, there, see, I get the parry off. Rapiers, you kind of have to parry them. Parry them, or, like I handled them that one game and just went for backstabs. But yeah, I see a lot of thrusting swords. And people like to complain about katanas, but I don't have too much of a problem against katanas. It's always thrusting swords that bother me. Mostly because of hitboxes and because they just have great tracking. Great tracking, great speed. Wonky hitboxes. So this looks like the Zweihander. Either that or the Mastodon Greatsword, but I think it's the Zweihander because it's got that extra little bit near the hilt. So he's doing like really wide swings, which you gotta watch out for. Like right there, I got glancing blow. And yeah, the dagger's not gonna cut it. The dagger's not gonna stagger him wearing the Mastodon stuff. But jumping attacks will, like you see, and regular attacks. So I just gotta try to capitalize onto like when he's in between attacks. But then I get stuck on the corner there, and he pulls out Ice Rapier, and I just can't get the distance, and he finishes me off. That's the one thing I don't like about Iron Bridge is it's very narrow and very easy to get caught up on the wall. But this is kind of where all the action is. I much prefer Broom Tower. Broom Tower is nice and open, and also Iron Bridge also favors magic because of how narrow it is. The only way to block it is these little statues I always go to. See? They do a great job blocking magic. And so this guy is... So this guy has a weapon. Also, you don't see that spell a lot. I don't think I've ever seen that spell before. I don't know what it's called. And so he has the Barbed Club, which, you know, I guess A+ for originality. I'm not sure why you'd use that club over others, but hey, he's got it, and you can see that, you know, having a weapon makes it a lot stronger than just pure magic. And you see earlier I punished him backing up so much with a jumping attack, which he wasn't prepared for. And so I'm just trying more dagger attempts because he's fast. And just, you know, rolling. Get a dagger off there while he's casting. And yeah. Sometimes don't be too hasty to roll an attack. Sometimes just kind of like stay close to them. Let them try to expend some of their stamina. Okay, so this is... That was a miss by me. I didn't mean to do the no. So that looks like Berserker Blade? No, Berserker Blade's the clear one. Manslayer? I think maybe there's Manslayer. And that was a good hit. That was an unlocked throw, I believe. Fireballs also are... If you get good at it, you can hit people somewhat easily doing an unlocked throw. And then pulls out a Majestic Greatsword, which also I don't see that much. And then a regular Greatsword. So this is a good strategy too, is just like mixing up your weapons all the time. So your opponent doesn't know what's coming at him. Like here I'm going in for Greatsword and he hits me with the Majestic Greatsword and is able to kill me. And so that's a good way to play too, is just constantly changing up your playstyle, switching through all these weapons. So that when your opponent's trying to play around a katana, then they get hit by greatswords, or when they start playing against a greatsword, they get hit by a thrusting sword or a whip or something like that. It's a little gimmicky, but I mean, nothing really wrong with it. Okay, so now we're gonna have a little fight with a red. I buff with that's another thing. This is a pure physical build, but you know, I have the charcoal pine resin just in case I want to buff. You know, it's a little extra damage. And so that jumping attack just barely missed him. I'm not sure why. Like, that jumping attack seemed pretty spot on, but oh well. And so he's got the parrying dagger in his left hand, so I have to be careful of that. Yeah, he punched me with a jumping attack there. That's kind of what we're doing. We're just punishing each other with jumping attacks. So now I'm trying to switch up and do dagger play, because you know, you don't want to stick to the same thing all the time. See, right there, instead of doing a jumping attack, I just rolled backwards. And then boom, we attack each other. And so there was actually one where running into me is what killed him. Like, he definitely got his attack off before me, and I was in the wrong when I attacked. But because he was too close, I ended up killing him. But he did deserve to win that fight. And I believe he did. I think I got the "you defeated" screen. Okay, so this guy has poise up the wazoo. Havel gauntlets and Havel legs. Gonna parry in each other's face a few times. Because why not? And is that the Majestic Greatsword? No, it's... I don't know what that is. But he's got a rapier to complement it. Oh, the regular rapier too, because he's doing parries with it. And so that almost would have been a parry by me. I mean, a parry by him on me. So now he switched out the greatsword for another fast sword. And so now he's just trying to outspeed me. And there he gets a backstab off. So, you know, he won that run. But I think if he hadn't got the backstab off, I was in, I guess, decent shape in that fight. Who knows, like I said, I have trouble with thrusting swords. I probably should have pulled out my shield and tried for, like I did before, blocking his attacks and trying to get in close for attacks. And so now I'm just, you know, okay, that's bad. Taking those hits is bad because that's a lot of damage. But I believe I just ran out of stamina there, which is bad. And so I just got punished hard for not watching my stamina management, which is obviously the most important thing you can do. Because you saw with the daggers, I staggered him, got in a whole bunch of attacks, but then I didn't have the stamina to roll away. And so that fight is a reminder to just like always be sure you don't get low on stamina, because you're just throwaway fights that you can easily win. Oh, and here's our first twin blade. Which again does a lot of damage if you get hit. So you have to really like respect it and like not get in too close. It's tempting with your dagger, but it's not a good idea. Also, I'm pretty good at parrying this weapon, so yeah. So I just do that. The red iron twin blade, if you practice parrying against it, I mean, it's really easy to win. That's one of the weapons that learn the parry timings, just like it works out so well. And I didn't include this fight, so I fought this guy earlier, and he completely destroyed me. So I'm gonna go against her with the Dragon Slayer spear. And so, yeah, again, watch out for hitboxes on spears. Just wait for them to attack and then try getting attacks when they're vulnerable. Jumping attacks I don't think will work. I think they always hit you out of them. And here we are just being stupid. Just trying to backstab each other. Normally don't do that. If someone tries to backstab you, just back off. And then force. Yeah, force is pretty good. Or emit force, I should say. Not a lot of people use it, but that's a good miracle to use. And that guy was doing the slow walk up for intimidation. This guy also has the penal gauntlets on. And are those Havel leggings? I think so. And okay, so here we're just, dancing around each other. Actually hits me with a firebomb, which again you don't see a lot in PvP. It gets me again. And then boom, jumping attack right into me. And that was the sort of thing where we initiated our attacks at the same time. So, yeah. Okay, so that was all the fights that we have for today. So here's a look at the stat screen. I actually had a composite bow on me as like a finisher. I just sort of never really used it. Bows are really easy to finish people off with. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this is a Rob Flynn build. So it's the Ring of Blades +2 and Flynn's Ring. And then the Chloranthy Ring for stamina regeneration and the third Dragon Ring. Ideally you want to be below 40% weight. I'm at 42. You want to be below 40 for, that extra stamina regeneration rate. But I didn't really want to. I couldn't think of anything else I wanted to change about this build. Like maybe I could have changed out to some lighter armor or something. But I kind of like the way the build is. And yeah, so you can see that 452 AR on my first weapon. My Thief Dagger is like at 276. And this is level 200. And you can see, 60 strength, 60 into endurance. Get just enough agility to be up to, I think, 105 on here. And then 25 dex. And I believe the 25 was just specifically for this great machete. And then I don't need any magic, so that's all low. And yeah, 2099 health. Kind of like being above the 2000 limit is kind of where you need to be for PvP. Let's see, anything else to mention about this build? So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Just kind of, if you're looking to improve your PvP playstyle, just go back, have a look at some of the fights, and just notice, pay attention to things like how we're keeping our distance from each other. You want to be spaced at a certain distance, and try to control space. Like you're trying to control where your opponent is, and how far he is from you. You don't want a dagger opponent to be constantly in your face. You want to be throwing out attacks, you want to be throwing out threats to make your opponent back up, to feel like they're not safe when they're close to you. Great sword users do that a lot. They're constantly just doing swings, follow-up swings, and usually they have the poise to follow through so that you don't feel comfortable, safe to them, and you try to keep a distance. And also there's other concepts like just being able to predict what your enemy's gonna do and trying to counter it, and then also when your enemy's trying to counter you, to counter that. Like if an enemy's trying to bait you into a rolling attack so that they can counter you, be aware of what their plans are up to so that you don't run into that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say, so I'm just gonna let this video continue playing out, and see you guys later.